Good morning, children. Today we will study about the leadership styles. There are basically three leadership styles: autocratic or authoritarian style. So, autocratic style, democratic style, and free reign style. These are the three ways by which a leader practice their leadership. The first one is autocratic style. An autocratic leader exercises complete control over the subordinate. When a leader has a total and complete control over the subordinate, then that is called the autocratic leadership. He gives order and expects the subordinate to follow them. So the leader gives the order and expects that the subordinate will follow his orders. It follows one-way communication, as the subordinate asks only according to the command given by the managers. So this follows, autocratic style follows only one-way communication, as the subordinate acts only according to the command given by the managers. So according to the command given by the managers, the subordinate acts. So whatever command is given by the manager, subordinates only do that. That is why it is called one-way communication. The leader is dogmatic and does not wish to be changed or opposed. So the leader does not want that anyone should change him, or the leader oppose any kind of change. That is why he is dogmatic in nature. He doesn't want to change himself. This leadership style is very effective in getting productivity in factory situation and facilitate quick decision making. So in the factory situation, to get the more and more productivity, this autocratic style is very effective, and it also helps in fast decision making. As shown in the diagram, the decision making power is centralized in the leaders. We can see here in the diagram, the leader has all the powers of making the decision. These are the leaders and these are the subordinates. The subordinates follow the orders of the leader, and the leader has the centralized decision making power. Second is democratic style. It is also called a participating style. A democratic leader takes decision after consultation and encourages the participant of the subordinates. So a democratic leader always consult with the subordinates and then take the decision. Moreover, while taking the decision, he take the decision of everyone, and everyone participates in the decision making. This style is more common and popular as it ensures achievement of goals when they are set with the acceptance of the subordinate themselves. So this is a very common and also a popular style of leadership. It helps in the achievement of the goals. Why? Because the subordinates have also taken part in the decision making. So subordinates have also taken part in the decision making. Subordinates are also set the plans so that the decision is proper. So that is why this is a very popular and it is a very common leadership style. It helps in the achievements of the goals. A democratic leader provides freedom of thinking and listen to the suggestions, grievances and opinions of the subordinates. So a democratic leader, he gives the total freedom of thinking, and he listens to the suggestions of the subordinates. He also listens to the grievances of the subordinates, and he also takes the opinion of the subordinate. This improves the attitude of the employee towards their job. As a result, the employee's attitudes towards the job increase, and the organization thereby increasing their morale. So the employees' attitudes toward the jobs and the organization increase, and this increases the morale of the employees. This style is of mutual benefit, which allows subordinates to become part of team and helps leader to make better the decision. So this participative style or democratic style has a mutual benefit. Both of them get the benefit, the leader and the subordinates, which allows the subordinate to become part of the team, and subordinates are the part of the team at the time of decision making, and it also helps the leader to make better decision. As shown in the diagram, the leader involves subordinates in decision making. So we can see here in the diagram, this is the leader and these are the subordinates, and this leader is involving all the subordinates in the decision making. That is why it is also called group centered leadership. The last type of leadership is the free rein style or laissez-faire leadership. It involves complete delegation of authority so that subordinate themselves takes decision. So here complete delegation of authority is given to the subordinates so that the subordinate themselves take the decision. The leader is not involved in the decision making. The free rein leaders avoid holding power and surrenders the authority to the subordinates. So the leader who practice this free rein style, they avoid holding the powers, they do not hold any powers, and they surrender all the authorities to the subordinates. This is also known as laissez-faire, which means no interference in the affairs of the others. This style is also called laissez-faire, which literally means no interference in the affairs of the others. This style of leadership is appropriate when the subordinates are well trained, knowledgeable, self-motivated, and ready to assume responsibilities. So this style of leadership is best when the subordinates are well trained, when the subordinates are very, very knowledgeable, subordinates are self-motivated and are ready to assume any type of responsibility. Then this type of style, that is the free rein style or the laissez-faire, is very, very effective. Today only this much. Thank you.